For Gassan. So I've been kicking this speech around in my head for a long time. And it seems as if the day is finally here. So I'd like to start it off with something very pertinent. It's about that time of year, so I'd like to take a poll. Who here is a younger sibling by a show of hands? All right, hands down. Who here is an older sibling? All of you, with your hands raised, have to realize that to us youngins, you are the bane of our childhood. Every single milestone, privilege, anything that occurs in our life is established based on a precedent that's all rooted back to you. So if I were to ask my mother, could I have a television in my room? She would say, Josh didn't have one until he was 14. I would ask my father, can I take the train by myself to Manhattan? And he would say, no, Josh didn't do that until he was 16. As a child, it used to absolutely infuriate me that everything revolved around Josh. And it didn't even just stop there, even in the classrooms. We went to the same elementary, middle, and high school together. And we overlapped with a lot of the same teachers. So when I'd walk into the room, they'd say, oh, Adam Gross, we had your brother Josh, top model student, top of the class, absolutely perfect. And for the first 3 months, they would always refer to me as Josh. Until about 3 months in, they realized that I was not the second coming of Josh Gross. And finally, I became Adam Gross. And it didn't even stop there. It also bled home. Spent about, not even half my life, it still happens, with parents calling me Adam. As if we're not different enough. The only time there's an exception to that, though, is when I do something wrong. In which case, Adam Mark Gross gets bellowed out at the top of the lungs, and Josh is far from their thoughts. Now, when we were growing up, Josh and I were pretty different. I never had glasses. Didn't have a rat tail growing up. I didn't have a mushroom cut. I never had a 20-sided dice to play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. I also never did Odyssey of the Mind. One of the other things that I never did was the We the People competition in DC, where Josh competed for first place to be the top constitutional interpreter. And at that time, I was actually home in Trumbull, Connecticut, with my friends, while my parents were out of town, burning forks on the back porch. So the hole that is in the carpet, Mom, is due to a dripping, burned fork, so I really apologize for that burn. I also was not voted the class nonconformist in my high school yearbook, where I also did not wear a Hulkamania t-shirt with Adidas tearaway pants. Forever emblazoned in the yearbook for years and generations to come. So I think that I painted a picture for you that Josh Gross was a nerdy kid growing up. And if I didn't, let me boldly state right now, Josh Gross is a very nerdy kid while growing up.
Still sexy.
Still very sexy. However, despite the fact that he was very dorky when I was growing up, he was still my cooler, older brother. And I would always, as a young child, sneak down to the basement while him and his friends were hanging down and eavesdrop on their conversations, pretending that I needed to pick up some sort of toy just so I could be involved in the action. But it was really just so I could spend a little bit more quality time with my brother, who wanted to X me out because I was younger and not as cool as him. So, we never really, in the same household growing up, got along all the time, but I have this theory. And this theory is that once one child goes to college, the entire sibling dynamic gets turned on its head. The time that you spend together is a little bit farther and few between. So in that time when you're actually together, you start to get along a little bit more. You do it for parents, you do it for each other. It's a special thing. So it's also this point, because Josh and I are 4 years apart, that he went to college, I entered high school, that I started to realize that my dorky older brother that I still somehow thought was cool at the same time was actually a good influence on me. So at this time, that's when I started to follow in his footsteps. I tried out for the cross-country team, which you didn't really need to try out for, but you just made a choice. I tried out for the tennis team, which I made and Josh did not. It's also about this time that my literature taste changed. I started to get a little bit more into Kerouac, a little bit more into Vonnegut. And it's about this time that I realized that once you hit high school, people don't really ask you anymore who your role models are, who influences you growing up. And I can honestly say, at this point in my life, and the man that I am today, is completely due in part to having an amazing older brother such as Josh Gross.
Oh, that's nice.
About 4 weeks ago, I was plagued by insomnia. I was up really late at night. And I came to a realization that I'm pretty sure Josh doesn't even realize. But on August 4th, 2005, anything? Clear? Okay. You and I spent Friday morning, it was a Friday, packing up the car. We packed the car to move you down to Washington, D.C. So, you know, it was the next chapter of your life, and little did you know that over the course of the next few weeks, you'd end up finding the girl that you would madly fall in love with and cast all doubt aside, and here we are today for you to marry her. And I think that's very suiting that exactly 7 years to the day, you're walking into the next chapter of your life with a companion for the road. So, to Helen, you are amazing, smart, beautiful. You're the absolute perfect complement to my brother. I feel very good knowing that he's in the best of hands with you for the years to come. And I welcome you into this family as the sister that I never had growing up. And I wish more than anything that my grandparents down in Florida, Jack and Flo, Nanny and Poppy, could be up here tonight to be able to witness this. And more than anything, I wish that Grandma and Pa, who you'll see in the most amazing picture over there, of the two of them madly in love, circa World War II-ish, maybe? just the two of them looking amazing. I wish that they could be here tonight too. And as you drive through these majestic hills of the Catskills, and you see this beautiful scenery, it only brings a little bit of relief to me that you know that they're out there somewhere, smiling down and absolutely happy about this engagement, this union, and happy about the life that the two of you are going to spend together. So, with that in mind, to the people that we don't have with us, that we love and that we've lost, to the people that can't be here tonight that we wish could be here, and to the long-lasting relationship and love of Josh and Helen, let us raise our glass for a toast. I love the two of you more than anything, and I'm just absolutely ecstatic for what's yet to come and what's right here, right now. Cheers.
Mr. Adam Billis, everybody. So now I'd like to pass the mic to the matron of honor, Anna Habib. Where is she?
Anna!
Big hand for Anna, everybody.
Well, this wouldn't be a 21st century wedding if somebody didn't read their speech from an iPhone, so I thought I had to do that. I could tell you about how I met Helen before I was even born, through the friendship our parents formed in Lebanon long ago. I could tell you about how I visited her in Geneva when I was 8 years old, and never met her again until freshman year in college, staying true to the phenomenon of the Lebanese diaspora. Wherever we are, we somehow find each other. I could tell you about our study abroad in England, or our 2-week trip to Japan, visiting Eddie, gozaimasu, or our family reunion on Makhoud Street in Beirut. I could talk about our summer as camp counselors at a French immersion camp in Staunton, Virginia, of all places, or my indoctrination into the philosophy of the lake people, Betsy. Or the long conversations about conflict resolution theory and the world of nonprofits. I could tell you about the hour-long conversation I had with Helen on my cell phone in my tired car late at night when I was supposed to be inside at a dinner party on Helen's first date with Josh. Or how we navigated all of those big questions about love and aging and death and gender and war and politics and parenting and a toothache and a lost phone, so many lost phones, and the season and the anxiety and the tradition and national identity and linguistics and art. I could say that I'm proud of her, that I will always be right beside her, that I admire her fierce compassion, if compassion can be fierce, and her questioning mind, her loyalty, and, we can't forget this, her charming quirkiness. I could say that I love Josh, the curiosity, the spontaneity, the depth, the authenticity. I could say that this union is what Rumi meant when he said, lovers don't finally meet somewhere, but they're in each other all along. But saying all of that is too cliche. I think my father, back in the back, said it best at my own wedding. I am unable to make a speech, so I'll just say, Alf Mabruk, Habibete.
Anna Habib? Thank you. So party on, everybody.